In a world where DDR5 costs over $300 for 32 gigabytes and beyond, there's only one reasonable thing to do. You grab your old DDR4 32 gigabyte kit, and then you buy AM4 or something, because that's what I'm gonna do, because buying DDR5 is stupid now. Let's tear this thing down. Yeah, ever since I broke my PC last year, I ended up downgrading to this i5 4570 system thing, since my other board was not working. We're gonna be going back to late AM4. I'm gonna be reusing some of the same parts, like this case, for example, and this power supply. You know, I really need to get some more drive bay things, so I only have these two for some reason. Our 1TB 860 Evo will be a game drive now, I guess, and my 750 gigabyte hard drive will do the same thing it's always done, just be there for some other storage. Well, everything's unplugged, so I guess let's start pulling everything out. Alright, here we go. My 1060, 6 gig. We are going to continue using this because I don't have any other graphics cards right now. Prices are a bit not great right now, so I don't know. I might have to use this for a few more years. Maybe I'll repaste it sometime to make sure that it runs cooler, but it doesn't overheat yet, so yeah. And, well, the Wi-Fi card, which I also had to put in like a X4 full slot, which is funny. I don't think we're not going to be using this probably because the other motherboard has a Wi-Fi built in or whatever, but I'll still keep this around, of course. And the board's out. No more MATX and ATX case where I didn't even get the bottom two screws in because standoffs that I did not remove. Just gotta get that IO shield out as well. Okay, done. Looks like this USB extender hub thingy or whatever is starting to de-stick. Ooh, oh well. I'm also gonna leave that in here. Cable management might not be happening, so don't get too disappointed. Yeah, thinking about cable management is very tricky. Like, I try to pull something out, and there's like 10 billion things just stuck in here, and it's just too hard, I think. I'm just gonna have to leave it alone. And I might plug in the hard drive hot swap thingy up here as well, because I could. Alright, we'll put our motherboard in here in a minute, which is a Asus Tough Gaming B550 with Wi-Fi or whatever. So, yeah, let's put it in there. What do we got? Just instructions, or oh, that's just the Wi-Fi antenna. All the other stuff's in here with our like Wi-Fi DVD or whatever, and IO shield, and what are those? Oh, standoffs. And we get 2 SATA cables. I forgot about that. Looks like we also get some stickers and stuff, and I'm assuming there's some other important information in here. Actually, I'm going to install the M.2 before I put this in the case. The SSD I chose was a P310 Crucial Drive Gen 4. No DRAM, no nothing special, but it was the cheapest SSD I could find. And considering how expensive like a DRAM SSD is now, like it's over $200. Like this just was the best option. And it took like 2.5 weeks to show up. So thank you for that, Amazon. It's amazing how much storage you can put in a small space. Yeah, those weren't motherboards, to be honest. They were for the SSDs. Like you can put one on any of these spots on both of these. And I also had that other little rubber pad thing installed like it's adjusted, since this SSD only has one side. And I guess we have this strip to for a little thermal pad thing, so this thing will be more than cool, I think, because it isn't the highest end SSD ever. Let's also install the RAM, I guess. Kind of interesting, because these slots back here do not move, but only the ones on the top do. Unfortunately, we have the slowest speed DDR4, like 2133 megahertz, and I don't know if I'd be able to get like a higher speed with like memory overclocking. But it is 32 gigabytes, so we're good on that. Pretty basic IO shield, but like, at least it's not just gray on this side. Okay, it took me forever to really get in there, but I think the IO shield's in there securely as it's supposed to be. Now I gotta get the motherboard in here. Oh, I should put the CPU in first, actually. I didn't expect most of the box to just be air. I chose a Ryzen 7 1700X. because of pricing. This was the cheapest thing I could find for a processor, like for like good price performance by comparison. I think like this was like listed at like 176 when I bought it, and other processors were like not really that much. They weren't competitive enough, in my opinion. Okay, it took me a very long time to get the motherboard in here because I had to move one of the standoffs like twice because I put it in the wrong place the first time, and then yeah, like the one right here, that was a pain. It was also a pain to push the motherboard in here to get to the I/O shield. Like that was just oh that's my least favorite part. I think the I/O shield is bulging out a little bit. Not really ideal, but I don't really want to fix that now. I think I can finally install the cooler and plug everything else in, and then we can try to see if this works. I really, really hope it does. Ugh, that kind of sucked to get this back up in here, but the I/O is in here. Now I just have to get it onto the processor. Not my best paced job. Okay, I think that's secure in place, and if so, we're almost there. Just got a few more things to plug in, like the next thing, which would be the graphics card. This sure looks beefy. Actually, I think it'll be easier if I put that in last. Well, unfortunately, I can't use this thing because, like, there's, like, one spot where there would need to be another hole for this I/O, so goodbye to this thing, I guess. Hopefully that's in there correctly. I made a bit of a mistake. I cannot get into the CPU power with this fan the way, but I think I can unscrew just the fan to get into there. Somehow, I believe I've got it in there. Barely. This was a bit of an oversight. Just gotta plug in a few more things. I might have somehow made cable management worse than what it started with, if I'm being honest, because I really don't feel like I improved much of anything. I'm going to plug in my hard drive and SSD after I install Windows 10, just so that nothing weird happens. Okay, I think finally everything but the graphics card's finally plugged in, besides the storage. Oh yeah. It's really annoying to screw in the graphics card for whatever reason. It just doesn't come over far enough to where the screws line up. This looks pretty terrible, but I think it's about as good as I'm going to get it secured in here, because they just don't want to go. It will probably be fine. I had it mounted like this in the last PC, just because it just doesn't work. Other small thing is missing one of these now, since there's no Wi-Fi card. Oh well. Future me somehow managed to get this in here slightly better, because he had to take out the graphics card to access the SATA ports that you can barely reach otherwise. That's fun. With that, I think everything's ready to be tested. Let's fire it up, I guess. Okay, it's plugged in. Let's see if it turns on. Oh, the power supply's not on. Oh, there we go. Wow, that fan profile is loud. That took a while for first boot, but here we are. CPU 1 fan error. Wait, no, just CPU fan error. What? I put the AIO on there. Huh. NVMe detected. RAM detected. I'm surprised I got a CPU error when there's like an AIO plugged in. Unfortunately, I have run out of time for the moment. I gotta go to work in a bit, so we're not gonna do the rest of this at the moment. Catch you in a minute whenever I'm back. Well, it's not quite exactly what I was hoping for, how this build was going to turn out, but it's here and it seems to be functioning just fine for now. So, you know, back up and running, upgraded a bit. Next things I would think about upgrading would probably be like my graphics card or power supply maybe, because I'm missing cables so I couldn't upgrade a graphics card. And besides the fact that this power supply is also kind of old, like 9 years. Yeah. Maybe faster RAM would be nice, but like with the prices these days, no. Also, unfortunately, that you know, the Wi-Fi in this motherboard is kind of slightly slower than the Wi-Fi card I was using, like at least 100 megabytes a second slower or whatever download. Although I put those antennas on here instead of like the weird one that Asus had, and it actually made the speeds a little bit better for my room, but I'm not super close to the router, so that might be part of the reason why it's slower in the first place. Oh, and I installed Windows 10. Where are you gaming? But not showing that today. I think that's going to wrap it up for the build video. It's nice that I finally upgraded my platform a bit, so I won't be held back by my 4-core processor with no extra threads. Thank you for watching the video. Maybe we'll do some gaming benchmarks sometime.